How you doing? This is Coffee Break with Jimmy, and it's been 1 year since Trump was the assassination was the attempt assassination against Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. They've been talking about that for the last couple of days, and Trump would like to just forget about it. I guess he was saying they had him. He was getting off Air Force One and getting on to Marine One, and they're asking him these questions. He said doesn't think about it too much, but he actually said thanks for the comment that a reporter had made there. But but it's been a year. When it happened, and Corey Comparator. His wife hasn't had any. This has been a year and hasn't found out exactly anything about this shooter and what he was trying to do. And I guess just a couple of days ago, Secret Service agents, there was 6 of them that were suspended for a month and a half without pay because of this. But this happened so long ago. So long ago. It was a year ago. It wasn't really that long ago. But that was, of course, right in the heat of the election. Joe Biden backing off and Kamala coming in as a Democratic nominee. So there was a lot of stuff going on there. So with changing of of the administrations and everything, I think maybe a lot of that got put back on the back burner for a minute, and now they're really starting to talk about it. And I hope Corey's wife does get the answers. Excuse me, and she should. She should get the answers. Her husband died, and that was the only fatality in this. But still, the candidate Donald Trump was shot at. And Secret Service, they dropped the ball apparently, and they're looking at that stuff now, and it's just all the stuff that Trump's done in the meantime in the last 6 months. It's really like it's not something he thinks about too much or his administration thinks about too much, but Corey's wife and their family, they need some answers. So it's been 1 year since that attempt. And since that happened, when that did happen, I think when Elon Musk came on board, and there are other Democrats that came on board. Bobby Kennedy, he was actually running for president on the Democratic side. So, and now he's in Trump's administration, So there's a lot of things that have changed, a lot of things that have been done. And, and you think about the stuff that the president has done in the Middle East. Let's talk not just the Middle East, but around the world. Was it the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda had an issue they've had for a number of years? Of course, had the ceasefire on the 12-day war with Israel and Iran. Of course, that happened after the end of the bunker busters, and that had to happen. There was no World War III after that, but the centrifuges were buried for, I think, forever, I would imagine. And that they were, getting ready to build a nuclear weapon. And then, Pakistan and India, there was a conflict solved, a ceasefire, and where they're talking to one another right now. This is because of what President Trump's done. Azerbaijan and Armenia, I can't pronounce it. I've never heard of the country, but apparently they had an issue there in their country there, and that's been not taken care of, but it's they're working on that right now, and that's because of what the Trump administration is doing. And of course, Israel and Iran is working on Israel and the Gaza Strip. Getting the all the captives there and getting them released. I think there's 50 of them, but I think only 20 of them or 25 of them are alive of the captives there in the Gaza Strip. And of course, that's something that Netanyahu and Trump is working on. The prime minister. And he said something interesting I heard the other day, and I've heard this before. And I actually believe it. I think it should happen. But, President Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe he should get a couple of Nobel Peace Prizes, okay? And the guy has done so much for peace. I mean, I've called him the common sense president, the president of the Common Sense Party, the Republican Party, but common sense, America first. You have a lot of euphemisms that go along with President Trump, but you can add to it the peaceful president, the president for peace. That's what he's trying to do and trying to get. I mean, the Abraham Accords is only they're talking about other countries along with Saudi Arabia and possibly Lebanon. That Lebanon is free now. Maybe even Syria. You never know what's going to happen over there in the Middle East, and what Trump has got working, and his administration has got going in that direction. But I see the Abraham Accords also growing, and having more people that will trade with one another with Israel, and so there's a lot of stuff that he's doing. Not just he's an America First president, right? Our GDP is up. We've actually convinced other countries that were part of NATO to give. None of them wanted to give 2% of their GDP, but President Trump got them to where they're going to pay 5% of their GDP for protection for military, and that's going to come back to the United States. That's trillions of dollars right there, a trillion and a half right there in itself. Okay. And you've got other monies coming in from the tariffs. I think, was it last month, we had 1 month that we had a balanced budget in our country for I don't know exactly what that means. I heard that term. We had a balanced budget for a month, or maybe 1 quarter we had a balanced budget for a quarter since Trump's been in office. Maybe, I don't know. I have to look more into that, but I just heard something about that, a balanced budget there. So things are working in that direction. Positive around the world. So you can say what you want about that. I just say follow him, watch what he does, get on board, because I think a lot of Democrats and independents as well are getting on board with this common sense Republican Party that are the MAGA Republican Party. Call it what you want, but it's all positive and everything's working in the right direction. And so yeah, I think President Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. It's given to people with less, and what he's done here, like I said, he should get a few of them. But anyway, that's I was following up on Trump. How I was talking about in the last couple of podcasts, where Trump is just a regular guy. He went to the championship of the World Cup today. It was in New Jersey, and he actually, to the winners, they gave him their trophy. Trump likes to be involved, especially in sporting events, and especially MMA. For sure, he loves that stuff. But he always been involved ever since when he had the New Jersey Generals in the AFL, American Football League. And, of course, that didn't work out too well, but that's where he got Herschel Walker, and him and Herschel became good friends at that point in time. But so Trump's always active in all these different things. And that's stuff that we love, as Americans. As Americans, I don't care what party you lie with, but that's what we are. We like sports. And Trump is the same way. He likes the same things that we like. Like I said, he's just, the president is just, you can call him a blue-collar billionaire, whatever you want to call him. He's just a regular guy. And he's on our side, and he speaks our language. That's what makes it so great. When Trump talks and he answers questions to the media, and a lot of the media, they'll ask stupid questions, actually, but he'll answer them anyway. But he answers them in a way that you and I can understand it. And that's makes it so appealing, the way that he answers the questions to where we can say, wow, this is what he's going to do. And I think it's just going to get better and better I think maybe our deficit is going to get smaller and smaller, quicker and quicker than what I personally anticipated, and I'm still anticipating it taking a long time because that's a lot of money. But if Trump, I should say that, if President Trump can continue doing what he's doing, yeah, I think he's going to be known as the greatest president of all time. So anyhow, this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. I wanted to speak on the anniversary, and look at him. He's still going. That didn't, that was the first assassination attempt. There's been 2 attempts. Well, not the other one. They caught it. They thwarted that before the guy even took a shot. But they got him. But that's and he's still going, and he's still going strong. Again, because he loves this country and he loves us. I really believe that. So anyway, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, share, hit the like button, and see you next time on Coffee Break with Jimmy. Thanks.